Hey y'all, it's Frozen Maniac here, and well, that ain't that bad. Wait. The video game sequel. This is the way of showing your consumers that you care. Or you don't. Same graphics, same level layout, same everything, game done! Sir, people will realize it's the same game and they won't buy it. Just add a 2 to the title, those f***heads will buy it anyway. I think everyone can get behind the idea of a video game sequel, unless you're afraid of a number coming after some words. Mario Party 6! But not every video game sequel is created equally. Things happen, budget cuts, layoffs, accidents do happen. So sir, a funny story, the hard drive corrupted. Because of these things that can happen during development of a game, bad video game sequels is nothing new. Except if you've only played like 2 games. What the f***? Games can be bad? Now I have talked about bad video game sequels in the past, however I was not able to cover all of them, and I'm sure I still won't be able to cover all of them, but I'll sure to try and cover a few more. Bomberman Act 0. Now when people think of Bomberman, they most likely think of this. But in Bomberman Act 0, this is what Bomberman looks like. What? I don't see a difference. They're both terrorists. Now although the game itself is not different to the other Bomberman games, the graphics went from cute to a dystopian future. Jesus Christ, just stick a porn sticker on it already. This game, even with its new gritty art style, might have been fine. The only issue was all the levels looked the same, the game had horrible collision detection, and horrifically unbalanced AI. So basically, this game blows. SimCity 2013. This was the 5th mainline SimCity game. However, as soon as it launched, it suffered with problems. It heavily focused on multiplayer, which meant players had to constantly be online to play. And look, before anyone says anything, I already tested, and no, you cannot play with an egg. To even install SimCity 2013, you needed a stable internet connection, even if you bought a physical copy. This meant sometimes the game was just unplayable, and at times because the servers were down quite a lot. If players didn't have a great internet connection, they just couldn't play the game, which remember, they paid for. Add that to the list of disappointments. Understandably, this new always online stuff angered a lot of players. Thank God you don't see that anymore. Damn it. This game suffered from glitches, bad AI pathing, and because the game ran on cloud servers, it lost a lot of players. This game killed the SimCity franchise. Well, it was either that or BioShock Infinite would have done it. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. The game itself was decent. Like Scoliosis. It was a bad sequel because instead of it being a platformer like the original, it's a kart racing game. I wonder how they came up with that one. Car! Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is more focused on collecting cars and upgrading cars. Didn't know I was playing Car Mechanics 2018. Sorry, I just didn't have the big bucks for Car Mechanics 2019. Resident Evil 6. This is a game that's been sitting in my backlog for a couple of weeks now, along with every other Resident Evil game. For Resident Evil 6, Capcom attempted to take the series in a new direction with an interweaving storyline taking place in many different continents, so it was something new, so you know what that means. Everyone f***ing hated it! Fans of this series universally agree. This game blows. Because of Resident Evil 6's new way of doing its story, it lost the survival horror that the franchise is kinda known for. And releasing the same game on every console known to man. Well, even the PS3. Because of the lack of horror, Resident Evil 6 felt more like a generic shooter. The plot was more overly complicated with too many characters, the storylines that ultimately went nowhere, and overall the game felt directionless. While Resident Evil 6 does have its fans, most fans would agree that the shifting tone was a mistake. Yeah, like Hitler being rejected from art school. Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. Everyone remembers their first time. Yeah, me neither. This is another game that's been sitting on my backlog for even longer than Resident Evil 6. Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness was the 6th Tomb Raider game, which is kinda funny since Tomb Raider 4 was meant to be the last Tomb Raider game, and Tomb Raider 5 was also a bad game. In fact, Tomb Raider 5 was just meant to be an ad placement for a Timex watch. In fact, this was what the developers think about the game. Tomb Raider 5 was effectively a load of old shit. That was the most depressing one for us. We were effectively just doing that one for a paycheck because no other team wanted to take it on. So we had to do it. Basically, by that time it had taken its toll. 3 years of hammering it, and we were burnt out. That shows it in the product. Anyway, what were we on about again? Oh yeah, salt tastes really good. Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness took place in a city. Well, in that case... Actually, you know, I think this works better. Tomb Raider 6's story was about solving a murder mystery, which fans were understandably not happy about this shift in story and classic Tomb Raider gameplay locations combined with terrible controls, janky movement, poor AI, and their game was a bug-filled and unfinished game. It did sell well, however it did hurt the Tomb Raider franchise due to the radical change in creative direction, numerous gameplay, and technical issues. Turns out the game ran like a dead fly, which is bad, because dead flies can't run. Sonic 06, yeah. This game blows. I'm not going to talk about this one that much because I think everyone knows why this game sucks. It's buggy, the story sucks. Sonic dies and he comes back to life by kissing a human. I'm sorry, what now? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Sweet, a game about a bird. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was released in 2015 when Activision realized its license with Tony Hawk was running out. So they got Robo Modo to put out one last game, so after a couple months, we got Bird with a Skateboard 5. Pro Skater 5, even at release, looked visually outdated, and that probably had to do with the game not only releasing on PS4, Xbox One, but as well as PS3 and Xbox 360. Poverty wins again. The game was released in an unfinished state. It was buggy and utterly unplayable online mode, dull levels, and to make it worse, many of the core features required access to Tony Hawk Pro Skater Online, which has been shut down since 2018 and making the game unplayable. I'll stick with an eagle next time. Earthworm Jim 3D. A game about a bird? A worm? What's next? A goat? You know, I was f***ing kidding. After the success of Super Mario 64, many developers decided that 3D was the future of gaming. Mom, don't you care? Many platformers struggled with the graphical conversion. Few titles handled it worse than Earthworm Jim, to the point where this interactive was certain it would be cancelled. Because of the graphics, it suffered serious issues with frame rate and animations. The game had its zany humour, but it also had appalling gameplay and the levels were insanely barren. And that's why worms are no longer playable characters in games. So that's just a few more bad sequels, and you know, I'm finally not afraid of games with 2s in the title! Oh come on, that's just not fair!